Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Star Wars Culture. I am Jordan.
And my name is Hannah. And today we'll be talking about everything to do with the actor's experience in Star Wars. Star Wars is genuinely probably the most insane, biggest film franchise in the world. And of course, as fans, we're going to say it is, but it's arguable. It's
Yes.
arguable. Acting in the Star Wars galaxy can be an intense time. There's lots of highs and lows, and we're going to be deep diving into a couple of those experiences of certain actors across the movies and shows. And we'll also be talking about the most wholesome actor experiences. There are some heartwarming moments out there that are just we'll get to, but I was crying at one point watching these heart
Yes.
melting moments happen in various celebrations and all kinds of things. So that's what we got going on.
Yes, I agree, and I love it all, and I cannot wait for us to get started.
Mm. Oh yeah.
Even with our disagreements and downfalls as Star Wars fans, there's a lot to be thankful for. Especially in these next coming years, we have a lot going on as far as
Oh
TV
yeah.
shows
Absolutely.
that I'm excited about. We're gonna be opening up a call-in segment at the end, so you can tell us some of your favorite moments of Star Wars fandom or the shows if you want. It's free country.
Show yeah.
Um,
Shows movies. Well,
Favorite actor moments, especially. We highly encourage those. Or just ask us any questions. Just vibe.
mm-hmm.
And also with Hannah and I, we have our excellent engineer Nick. How are you doing, my friend?
Hello, Nick.
Hello, hello, hello. I am doing just peachy today. How are you guys?
Peachy. That well again. Is it warm on Mustafa? Is it?
It
I feel
was,
like
it
it's
was,
warmer than peachy.
it
Yeah,
was.
That's
I'm trying to get
I'm
out of here. I'm
doing
trying to get out of here.
nice. I'm doing more watermelon, but
oh, I like that. Different
not so
fruits for
much.
different
Yeah,
moods. I
not
like that a lot.
yes.
That's amazing. And thank you so much for checking us out here at Star Wars Culture. If you want to get to know any of us here more and see what we're up to and what we're making on social media, you can follow me on at Raeside for Instagram and Twitter. And you can also follow Culture Slate, all at Culture Slate on Twitter, Facebook. What are the other ones? I always forget the other. Twitter,
There's
Facebook,
yeah.
Instagram, TikTok, those ones. You
YouTube,
all
Culture Slate,
that's
all
it.
of it.
Yeah,
Just
boom.
look up Culture Slate and you'll
Yeah.
find it. It's so easy. You can DM me for help. I'm opening my DMs to help you find everything to follow us on, especially at Patreon. My Instagram is at tbrewpulser66. Nick is at Nick dash. Is it dash or underscore? I
It's
forgot.
Nick. It's
Not gonna
Underscore.
lie.
Where's the underscore?
it's Nick
Is there
Underscore.
TK
underscore?
seven
Yes.
two seven
TK.
two.
Yes, got it. We
That's
love
the one.
Nick. We love
That's the
that.
one.
Um, and for more great pop culture news and content on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Culture
That's
Slate.
the
Once
one.
again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you're loving the show, be sure to support us over on Patreon too. We post all sorts of behind the scenes and exclusive content that you can't get
Mm-hmm.
anywhere
Mm-hmm.
else.
Oh yeah. Oh
Also,
yeah.
when you sign up, you'll receive exclusive merch from us. Who doesn't want exclusive merch? Like,
Yeah. No one else exclusive. Like no one
right.
else can get it. Yeah.
Yes. So
There it
that
is.
link will be in the description below.
Yeah. It's a good time. You get to see all that juicy goss of what happens
Yes.
behind the show offline.
Yes.
So
It is
the
amazing.
reality of acting in Star Wars, Jordan. There's a lot in this that we're
Yes.
going to get through with it because
Yeah.
there's highs and lows of acting in Star Wars. Like I said at the start, Star Wars is arguably the biggest franchise on the planet,
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
there's a lot of pros to that. There's a lot of good things to that comes from that and working in the movies or the shows or behind the scenes writing something like that. But then also there comes a lot of cons and there's a lot of difficulties working in those projects and movies and things. And
Yeah.
our fandom is very well known for not being the nicest people.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, we are renowned for our intensity and opinionated views on various things, tiny things, but also the big things, and
Yeah.
when it actually needs to have something said about a certain issue. So to kind of get our a bit of an entree into this topic. Get us thinking about this topic of what is it like to be in the Star Wars universe, working on a Star Wars project. What do you think, Jordan, if you had to be working on a Star Wars project, and if you were in any kind of capacity, what would you be doing? Would you be an actor? Would you be a director, a writer, props, set design? Like, what would you do if you got the opportunity to work on a Star Wars project?
I don't know. All of it seems amazing, and I want to do it all. I think I would, but if I had to pick one, I would be a Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau type.
Oh yeah, like an
and
executive.
I would make a show, and it would be called The Adventures of Finn and Poe, and they're gonna go on their adventures and be in a loving relationship with each other. Rey can show up and train Finn to be a Jedi, and that's just that on that.
This is magical. I want that show.
Yes.
Hey,
I have a name and everything.
Is Finn and Poe's ship name? Is it Pin or Foe?
It's Finn Poe. They just combine both.
Just
names
Finn Poe.
So short.
Okay.
But some people also call them Storm Pilot because one was a stormtrooper, the other one's a pilot.
Oh, that's satisfying. I like that. I love that a lot. That's cool. I like that.
They're both great.
Okay. So I can like an executive producer, you would want to be in that kind of overseeing kind of creator, just like going around it. I can see. I think I would love to direct like an episode of Mandalorian. I think that's what I would want to do, because it's like you don't have this. I mean, it's still a responsibility, but it's not like you're making the next sequel movie where it's like up for every human's discrepancy to just have an opinion on. But it's like if you do a Mandalorian episode, it's like, oh well, you're in Star Wars, but it's not, you're not gonna die if it's terrible.
Exactly.
Yeah, because that's actually just on that was one thing that I was a bit unsure of going into Mando's season 1 and 2, finding out that every episode was directed by a different director. I was very skeptical of that. I was going, well, how is it all going to be the same? I think also coming off the back of the prequels, what am I talking about? The sequels, having, JJ, then Ryan, and then JJ again. And that was a lot of the issues. Like, oh, there's no linear kind of connection through them all that kind of questions and things like that.
Right.
I was a bit skeptical going to Manda going, oh, well, the same thing's happening here. How are you going to have a different director every episode? But like have that all similarity?
I mean, it worked for the most part, it seems like. So I'm surprised and impressed.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you're right. It did really work, actually. It wasn't it's not that it worked. It like really worked. Like it was a good different flavor every episode. If you will. Yeah,
for sure.
So good. Now, talking about the being involved in projects and things like this, we're going to have a bit more focus on the actor's experience in Star Wars and what goes on in being having a role in the Star Wars movie and what that means, the responsibility of that. And the most recent, fairly recent in the past 5 years, experiences have come out from the sequel trilogies and obviously Mandalorian as well. And so I want to bring up the conversation about Kelly Marie Tran, and this has been a conversation we've had for dotted throughout episodes the past couple of weeks, and because she didn't have a good experience. I'm just blanketly, she did not have a good experience.
Yeah. As far as the fans go, she absolutely did not have a good experience. And I mean, I guess I would even go as far as, because, she loved being in episode 8. I don't know how that had since changed with episode 9, considering how small her role was. But I would say more fan-wise was where you start to get into she wasn't really that happy with how things turned out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So do you think, let me ask you this, do you think if us as fans, and I'm not going to include myself in this because I loved the Rose character, to be honest, in The Last Jedi.
Oh, same.
Yeah. Do you think as fans, if we, hypothetically, if if we didn't say anything about the Rose character and so many people weren't so arced up about her, do you think she would have been more involved in Rise of Skywalker? Do you think she would have had more of a role?
It's hard to say just because Finn, I feel like, was generally liked. And yet his role was still diminished. So it's hard for me to say. Because, on one point, you've heard me say in past shows that Disney / Lucasfilm have a tendency to listen to the wrong people. They still kind of make their own sketchy decisions as far as those sort of things go. So I'm not really sure. I don't know. I don't know if it would be better. I would hope it would be. But I can't say. Because, not to mention, Star Wars creators and fans are both very weird. We're all very unpredictable, except when we become very predictable. So, who knows,
Yeah. And I think the thing with Rose, and maybe this happened with Finn to a bit as well, definitely the kind of jumping on the bandwagon kind of thinking of it's a real small group of people that would have had an issue or didn't like that character. But then it's just kind of, people are saying it, I should say it too. This is my opinion, like jumping on it. Do you think that happened with Rose's character? Do you think it wasn't actually more of an issue of her character? Star Wars fans just have an issue with, we don't know how to disagree in a nice way, in a respectful way.
Continue. I'm sorry.
So do you think the fans, do you think how could we have fixed that? How do you think we could have changed that? So was that just bandwagon thinking mentality? or do you think Rose deserved, her character was not worth to be in the Rise of Skywalker?
I think, I definitely think it was sort of bandwagoning. I just feel like Star Wars fans have to realize you're not gonna like every single character. And that does not mean they don't need to be in a movie just because you don't like them. I mean, that's as simple as my answer is. I mean, even for the 2 minutes she was in Rise of Skywalker, I loved her. I wish she was in more, as a matter of fact. I wanted her to be in more because, I mean, she deserves to be in more of Rise of Skywalker. She deserves to be more sequel content. And that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we brought this point up a couple of weeks ago as well, talking about her character and actually the impact she had on the storyline. And say what you will about the actor, but the character of Rose, like what we said before, she went through this amazing emotional journey of being in the Resistance, losing her sister, but still having that fight within her. And it's like this fantastic role model of resilience and strength. And I just still feel it. Ever since we spoke about that a couple of weeks ago, go back on, what was it? Was it the women in Star Wars? Was it that episode? We mentioned it a bunch of times. But it's like her character is such a strong role model, and I feel like we've totally lost sight of that.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely. She is the definition. Rose in The Last Jedi is the definition of resilience, and she just keeps going, and she just wants to help. And that whole idea of that she wasn't this big someone before it. She was working at the bottom of the ship. What was she, servicing the pods or something? Or she was cleaning them?
She was I think she was just the engineer. I think it's what the vague title was.
Yes, yeah. So it's she wasn't coming from this big entitled name of a past. She was working in the depths of this thing, but she just wanted to do her part. And that whole storyline, I feel like we totally lost as fans to our detriment, because we were just so arced up to say our thing about her character, and but we lost the purpose of why she was in it. And I think so if we me, Jordan and I, if we rewrote the Rise of Skywalker, And actually, if any of the three movies, how would we rewrite Rose's character, and what would we change if we could change something about her character?
Uh, she would be a resistance commander, first and foremost.
Okay, yeah,
Uh, you know, since I mean, Leia was on her way to promoting Poe to general, she could have been a captain or commander easily. Um, so that would have been my main rewrite, I guess, was giving Rose more screen time and more of a space to shine in for sure.
yeah, absolutely. And I think in specifically Rise of Skywalker,
Yeah.
I think she could have. I don't know, like she could have been there. When they went to, name
Right.
is fleeting
When
me.
they went
When
to
they went to
Exegol
that,
and or
yeah,
Kajimi and all that, they
yeah,
could have
Kajimi,
been
yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah,
She could
like
have for sure been there at the
yeah,
very least. Yeah.
and some people have the argument that they felt like there was too many kind of B characters of like we had
Mhm.
that Rey and Kylo, and then we had Finn became that kind of beeline sidelined character of like
Yeah.
Finn, and then the Poe, and then having Chewie, and then C-3PO. Like some people would say, well, it would have been a massive ensemble. Imagine having like 10
Right.
people as a group, going around
Yeah.
to all these
Like
places. But the Falcon is a big ship that they can all fit.
they can all
Fine.
fit. Exactly. Like it's
It's
not that
fine. Yeah,
like
Rose, get in here. Yeah, right. So I think I would have liked to see Rose going on those little adventures with little adventures. They just saved the galaxy.
yeah,
Those
exactly.
big adventures with them.
Exactly.
I think I would have enjoyed that because even the 2 minutes she was in Rise of Skywalker, she was her character was quite strong, and like every like just a couple of words she had all time she was on screen, it was something powerful she was doing. She was like,
Yeah.
I just keep picturing this scene in my head where they're at the resistance base, and I forget the whole line, but Finn said something to her being like, how's it going? Or did he just say how's it going? But
How's it going?
I need to really brush up on my Star Wars quotes. How's it going, Rose? Oh goodness.
That's just all he says to her all the time.
Oh, I can't stop thinking about Finn saying that to her. Wow. But she's walking around the place on a mission, and she's got, she's doing something, and she's figuring something out, and she's got this kind of very commanding presence, no pun
Yeah.
intended, if she's got to be a commander. So I would have liked to see more of her, because I found
For
just
sure.
her, the second she was on screen, I'm like, ooh, man, she's like taking charge of things. She's like owning life. Like, look at her go.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Definitely.
I think I would have liked to see her more. Yeah.
Rose deserved better. We've been new. Like that's just
Yeah.
the bottom line, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Nick, what would you say about this Rose situation? If you could change something about her character, what would you change about her or rewrite?
Give me a second here. There we go. Everything's trying to catch up there. I don't know why. My stuff sucks right
There
now.
you are. Hello. Oh, hello,
Hello.
from Mustafa. Oh, well, it's a long connection from Mustafa.
Yeah, it is. Trying to pack up here and get out soon for us all. No, I think.
Yeah, I heard two Jedi were on their way.
Yeah,
And they're like mad at each other right now. So I'll get out of there as soon as possible.
Don't get in between us. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that definitely her story was cheapened, and I think that a lot of the time spent in Canto Bight could have, even if it happened there, a lot more of the development could have, I guess, happened in that time frame than really having to try to escape from a jail again and then magically find, DJ and all these. It's just like I get the idea, but it's just. I feel like we're picking and choosing characters to be able to just be like, oh, well, they can go have this story. We need to fill up the time. So it's like,
Yeah. Absolutely.
I would have rather had a better detailed moment of character growth for her and Finn within either traveling, stopping at other places, and having limited, like a smaller time in Canto Bight, and then maybe read more into it in the book, or something like that. But at least give us more of, like, the characters more time to grow in the movies compared to just, I don't know. I don't even know what you would
Yeah.
call that whole fiasco.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I get what you're saying. Like I feel like that was my issue with Canto Bight as well. As much as it was an interesting concept, I feel like it just did nothing for the story. And I agree. I think we could have gotten more depth about her
More
character.
depth.
That was good insight. I like that, Nick. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, talking about the kind of reaction that she got from fans and people not liking her involvement in the movies, not to dwell on the negatives, we have some very wholesome moments. Well, moment that we have found. And Jordan, I was talking to you about this the other day, and you were like, "Oh yeah, check out this ovation she got at the Star Wars celebration." And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna check this out." YouTubed it. I think are we going to play the? I don't think we're going to play the clip, but I will put the link in the description of the YouTube video for you. But it's the 2019 Star Wars celebration, and it was this episode 9 panel, which is interesting because it wasn't for Last Jedi, it was now for Rise of Skywalker, and she was in it for like the 2 seconds, and people were like, "Oh, why was she not in it?" It was at the back end of all this stuff and crap kind of happening.
Sorry.
And it was that's okay. That's all right. Blue shadow virus. It's coming at you.
That's what happens because
I know.
3-4 weeks ago, I had a kid who was deathly ill. So I went home deathly ill. And then
no.
I had another kid 2 weeks after that, after I recovered. He is deathly ill. And the kid this week I have went home to his pneumonia-ridden brother. And I'm just like, can't catch a break.
Blue shadow virus all around.
Yeah.
How did they stop that? Actually, how did that episode arc finish?
It finished with me getting sick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anakin got angry because Padme was hurt. And he found some root that made the antidote.
Yeah, that's right. The root thing. And that's a good
And then Jar Jar was to begin training with a blaster, but never got trained.
That was sad. Yeah. We need to link that Clone Wars arc. So every time someone coughs, like what we're talking about now. Back to our point. Wholesome moment. Curly Marie Tran, 2019 Star Wars Celebration, episode 9 panel. She got the most wholesome standing ovation and roaring applause when I believe it was Stephen Colbert who introduced it. Who was hosting it?
If it was the episode 9 panel, then it was Colbert, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it was him. I believe so.
Yeah.
And he introduced it, and she's, welcome to the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
And the crowd just goes insane. Just goes wild for her. And it's so heartwarming because even, I don't know about you, but even if you disagree with her character, you don't like her character, that it was this wholesome moment of seeing this person who had to go through a lot of crap and a lot of negativity to her character, to her being in the movies at all, and all this crap that people were just saying on a whim and all this kind of stuff, and for her to get this thunderous applause.
Yeah.
Thanks,
and it's not how Liberty died this time. Look at that.
And she got a positive thunderous applause. And I think I messaged you guys as well yesterday going, I just watched that YouTube video and I am tears streaming down my face, bawling at this is so heartwarming to think this person went through all this crap, all this negativity to her character and her involvement. She's just a creator. She's just doing her job, doing her best, doing her thing, and to get all that crap. And then she finally gets this massive, just again, thunderous applause. I think it was just so wholesome. What did you think and feel when you saw it and when you watch it?
Oh, I agree. I saw it the day it happened. Somebody had uploaded it on social media that same day, because it was the live panel before the trailer played for the first time. And I was like, as she should. Yeah. That's how you treat somebody who played an amazing character in Star Wars. Yeah. That's how you come correct. That's somebody who you essentially bullied off social media the whole year before that. Which I think she's back on social media now. Love that for her.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. Celebration 19 was just super wholesome.
That was a good time.
And
A lot
I want to
happened.
go to a celebration so bad.
We're
It's like
going. We have to
not
go.
even funny at this point how bad I
The
want to
next
go.
when's the next one? 2022, I
2022.
believe.
You guys are missing
Yeah,
out.
I know. I
I'm
don't
not
know if
missing
I
it.
can
I
fly
will
there.
put myself in a suitcase and go
I
because
will
I'm
get
not
every COVID
not
vaccine
doing it.
possible and come over
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
Oh, so good, so good. And thinking on this, on actors' experiences and celebration, because there's another wholesome celebration moment we're going to bring up. In the same thought of actors that have gotten crap for their character, but this one got a bit of a turnaround, did a bit of a 180 on
Yeah.
people hating on him. Ahmed Best,
Uh,
just shockingly iconic for being one of the most disliked characters in Star
yeah.
Wars, and it just even people not a part of the fandom know it, and would a lot of people dislike him just for the fact of it, and so it's very similar to Rose and Kelly Marie Tran's experience of it. But why do you think when the movies first came out, why do you think people disliked Jar Jar Binks so much? Just he was meant to be this funny like clown of a Gungan, and he just
Well,
got so much hate. Why do you think that is?
for me, and this is based on my personal experience with Jar Jar Binks.
Yes.
There's a fine line between funny and unbearably annoying. And
That's put so
episode
nicely.
1 Jar Jar was like leaning towards unbearably annoying. Like even just going back and watching the Phantom Menace now,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god. I
Yeah.
can't do it. Like I just couldn't do it. I wince every time he says something because I'm like, ah. But it's funny that I say that because in the Clone Wars, I love every episode he's in, and I'm like, Jar Jar Binks is the best.
Bombad General. Oh,
Yes.
that's a great
Um,
episode. Yeah, no, I
yeah.
agree. Yeah. I
I just found him unbearably annoying at times. That's why I was like, didn't like him as a character that much to begin with
Yeah.
at the start. But I wasn't like mad at the actor or how dare he should go unalive himself. And like, that's too much, you know?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think this might happen a lot in the Star Wars universe is that Star Wars is for all ages, and it was always meant to be. And it was a kids, it was aimed for kids, but then obviously because it's just lasted so long, those kids are now
Right.
well into their adulthood. And when the prequels came out, I think Jar Jar was that funny, goofy kind of slapstick humor, that real kind of Dumb and Dumber, if you will, kind of idiot on screen for those kids, that those like 8 to 12-year-olds. I feel like that's like the prime age to like Jar Jar Binks,
Yes.
because where's he gets his tongue like stuck in the electric like beam of the pod racer.
Yeah.
Like Padme has to come and be like, come on, mate, you've had a bit too many. And then he steps in the droppings of that animal. I don't know what that animal's called. You know, the one with that, it's got like a little, on Tatooine, it's got that little trunk. It's got like a mini elephant trunk. What are those animals called? Because there's Bantha, then there's those other animals.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
I
he's
don't know.
he's doing all these stupid, ridiculous things.
Yeah.
But it's for the appeal of the kids, really, and it's for that, something to point and laugh at. I think so.
Yeah.
But then, of course, in the great essence of Star Wars fandom, we went, this is terrible. He's annoying, and I do have to agree with you, even though I just said all that it's great that we have this clown on the screen. I totally agree. He was unbearably annoying in Phantom Menace,
Yeah.
but I feel like we had to have that annoyingness to get the essence of Jar Jar and to understand his context. So like what you said in Clone Wars, when Clone Wars came around, I totally have the same opinion. I really enjoyed his arcs and his experiences he had and the things he went through. That was a lot more interesting and in depth. So I think we had to have that kind of contrast of Phantom Menace, mate, just shut up. What are you talking about? What are you doing? Just stop. And to appreciate the interest and the depth of Jar Jar we got in the Phantom Menace, in the Clone Wars.
Oh yeah, for sure. Who Ahmed Best voiced, by the way. I'm pretty sure he did.
Did he? I think there was like a couple of episodes where he didn't,
The
but it was
first
really
season,
obvious.
in the first season, I believe it wasn't him, but then pretty much
Yeah,
after
and they-
that, it was
Yes.
first or 2 seasons.
Yeah. That sounds right. I think because there was a couple episodes where you're just like, ooh, that's not Jar Jar. That's someone trying really hard to be Jar Jar.
Yeah.
But then the rest of it, you can definitely tell. So yeah, Jar Jar, you hate him. You kind of hate to love him and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But but I think also the other thing that we need to highlight as well is that people. The issue with it is that people didn't like the character and then connected that to the actor. And that's
Right.
the issue that happened with Ahmed Best in his case, and the backlash that he got. And it's been 20 years and he's still
Yeah.
coming out with following him on Twitter on things today that he's still kind of recuperating and getting over this experience, this intense experience he had 20 years ago about people just hating on him for Jar Jar. Where if we objectively look at it, he
Yeah.
was a fantastic motion captured actor doing an incredible role, bringing to life this made up alien. Like if we look at it in that way, and same thing like with George having this set idea that he wants to bring this motion capture and have this walk and talk and have someone in a bodysuit doing that, like that was revolutionary for its time.
Yeah.
And Ahmed did this incredible physicality of Jar Jar, as much as I don't like him, he's a bit of a clown. The physicality of Jar Jar I find very fascinating, and his
Yeah.
classic walk is just fantastic. So what do you think about Ahmed's portrayal of Jar Jar?
I mean, he did what he needed to do. It was it was great. He did exactly what he needed to do. You can't take that away from him. No matter how much you hate Jar Jar, his character
Yeah.
still did what he was meant to do, just because I don't like it. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jar Jar and the character of Jar Jar, and more, I think, the Ahmed Best side as well, and the actor side, that he's kind of done a 180 in the Star Wars world, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Do you agree? Of people really disliked him, and then now he's kind of in this become a real positive meme, if you will, of the fandom.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think once people realized that they couldn't bully him into submission, they're like, you know what? Let's stop hating.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of got everyone to calm down and realize that they don't have to be so angry all the time, and they can actually like him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's almost like everyone just relaxed. I don't know when
Yeah.
it was or what happened or why it happened, but it just like everyone relaxed. Everyone's like, oh yeah, it's okay. Like we can not like this character still. It's not that everyone began to like Jar Jar either. It was like everyone just relaxed and went, you know what, we can not like this character, but like look at this actor doing
Like,
this.
let's lay off the
fantastic
actor,
job.
maybe.
Yeah, maybe. So I love how that only took us as a fan 20 years to figure that out.
Right.
But yeah, I definitely think that's what
Are you
happened.
surprised? I'm not.
And it comes back to that point of Star Wars fandom, like what we said at the start, it's notorious for being intense and negative and opinionated. And that's actually okay.
Yeah.
But we
for
don't know
sure.
how to do it respectfully, and we don't know
Yeah.
how to do it without like ripping other fans to shreds. it's
Literally insane.
right. I feel like you have a lot of a passion in that kind of area.
Well, yeah, considering somebody called me the N-word because I wanted to like John Boyega's character, yeah, I'd say I have a little insight and opinions about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wish Star Wars fans would calm down. We always have to talk over each other. We have to correct everybody. No one can just have an opinion. And it's insane to me because we all like the same thing. We may like different aspects of it, but we all like the same thing. So I don't understand why we have to come at each other so hard,
Yeah.
Sequel fans are constantly bullied by prequel and original trilogy fans, but sequel fans, I have problems with them too, because I can't mention that I don't really care for Raylo, which is another conversation for another time. We'll talk about that later.
Oh yeah, I'll note that down.
I can't mention why I don't like that without the ridicule. It's insane. Some of them go on Twitter and bully people who don't like Raylo and stuff like that. And obviously, I'm not saying that all Raylos are bullies, because they're obviously not. But it comes from all sides,
Yeah.
Um,
And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, with the fandom, it's a hostile place to be at times, and especially with these sequel issues of Raylo and Finn getting sidelined, and Rose like not having anything to, like, all these issues, like everyone has an opinion of. How do you think we can better, as fans, how can we be better at communicating those ideas, and how can we change this culture of just this rage if someone has a tiny little disagreement, or different opinion, not even disagreement, just a different opinion, and everyone's just like, no, this is what I think. And how do we diffuse these situations and communicate better with each other?
I think we need to adopt, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it.
Yeah.
And until we can master that, we don't need to do anything else.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, for me, it's that simple. I don't like, I wish more people did this, but scroll past things you don't like. Scroll past these TikToks to see if people talking about why they think Rey's a Skywalker, because that's like the big thing on TikTok. If you want your video, let me let you in on
Oh, tell us. Yes.
TikTok.
Yeah. Yes.
If you want a Star Wars video to get a lot of attention, put Rey as a Skywalker. Some from left and right coming at you, insulting your intelligence and invalidating your opinions as a Star Wars fan. And then you have the people who defend you but attack the other people. So just mention Rey as a Skywalker in one of your videos.
And that will trigger.
You'll be golden.
Millions.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like what you mentioned there. That's the thing. Like, people can't keep it just to what's been spoken about, and go, oh, that's an interesting opinion. I thought differently about her character. Like, it's never that. It's always,
right.
Hang on, this fantasy idea of a character, I'm going to make totally personally about you and attack you as a human. Like, where, like, it just has to make that jump, and that's where that negativity and where it's being so lost and people are being hurt over, is because people just make it about the person and make it so personal. And you can, like, you're not an idiot for having a different opinion, you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, it's insane. Star Wars fandom, it's just it's intense.
Yeah, it's insane.
But positive spin, let's talk about this wholesome moment for Ahmed Best. So similar thing happened in, again, like what you said before, 2019 Star Wars Celebration. That was an amazing time. A lot of good stuff came out of that
everyone
celebration.
Everyone was on their best behavior at Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah.
And I feel like Star Wars Celebration is where the non-toxic
the healthy fans
go. The healthy fans go. So like I said before, 2022, if I'm not there, there's gonna be a problem.
I know. Yeah, we're gonna be there. We're gonna be there. Okay,
we're gonna be there. We're manifesting.
Come on.
It.
Yeah, we're
manifesting it right now.
Using the Force. Come on.
I'm even gonna go one step further and to say we're gonna have a panel. Obviously, that's not an official announcement, but I'm manifesting it into existence right now. It's gonna happen. You're gonna play back this clip.
Force Ghost Qui-Gon? We're gonna tell him.
Yeah, you're gonna play back this clip. This clip is gonna play at Star Wars Celebration before we come out on that stage.
Yeah,
it's me saying
we're manifested.
We're gonna be there in 2022, and there's absolutely nothing anyone can do about it. So, there's
I love
that.
that so much.
Um,
But
but
yeah, because
yes,
we want to be a part of this good time of Star Wars Celebration.
yeah,
And because this other wholesome moment that we got for Ahmed Best is he was doing a Phantom Menace panel with Anthony Daniels.
yeah,
And because it had been 20 years, 20 years since Phantom Menace in 2019. Yeah, that's correct. And he came out, got introduced, and here comes, I forgot who hosted this. Could have been Warwick Davis, maybe. Introduces Ahmed Best. Again, we'll link the video in the below if you want to see
yeah.
it. Introduces Ahmed Best, and Ahmed Best comes out, and again, we're going to use this phrase a lot. He gets a thunderous applause, and he is just so cheered upon and just loved, and just it's not just like, oh, he's a Star Wars actor, well, that's exciting, yay. It was like
Yes.
a passionate, emotional, like, yes, you have been disliked by so many for so long. Like, come onto this stage and let us love you. Like, that's what I felt
Yeah.
like the fans were trying to communicate with him. And I think that was definitely communicated because
Mhm,
I have the
for
tweet.
sure.
Ahmed made a tweet after the panel, and it was so touching. It was so nice, and I'll read it out. I'm overwhelmed with love and support I got at today's celebration Phantom Menace panel. It was very difficult not to break down in a puddle of gratitude tears. Oh,
I
a
love it so much.
so thank you for each and every one of you. Your love is felt so greatly. So again, like, it was just thunderous applause, but he could feel that love, and he can, after all this time of negativity, he can feel that. And for a grown man to break down in a puddle of tears, like, he's just so raw and vulnerable there, like, just in that sentence. And I just
Yeah.
love that. It's just amazing. Your love is felt so greatly. Hashtag Jar Jar Binks and all those kinds of
Yes.
stuff. It's just so wholesome. That, again, same thing happened. I watched the video of it where he just got it was so long. It was a nice long applause too, and a long cheer for him. And you can just feel it, that it just years of like trauma.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely not solved, but starting to heal, and in him getting that love he deserves.
It's amazing.
Oh, it's amazing. What do you what did you think when you have you seen the clip? Did I send you the clip?
I've seen them all before. I don't remember you sending it to me, but I've seen them all before. I'm the type of person that goes back and watch Star Wars clips religiously.
Celebration clips
I
always
still
get me in the
watch
heart.
all of the
Ooh.
trailers for all the sequel movies, despite the movies being out and on Disney Plus. I own the Rise of Skywalker 4K
amazing.
DVD physical copy, and I still watch the
You
trailer.
still, I love that so much.
So yeah,
That's amazing.
it was just perfect. I think people realize, oh, our words have an effect on these people. Considering he said he considered S. I don't know if we're allowed to say it, so I'm just gonna say unalive. He considered unalive, and I think people were starting to realize, oh, what we say affects these actors.
Yeah.
So we should probably calm down. It was never about him as an actor. It was just the character, and we're sorry. I feel like that's what I got out of that moment.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was that realization of our words actually are affecting this human, and like what you said, he tweets about it, and he's actually become very open about it just in the past like couple of years too, not that long. And he's become very open about his journey of having to not listen, and because it's impossible. Everyone says don't listen to what others say about you, but that's really hard in to actually do.
Absolutely.
And actually just be like, I'm just not going to listen to like these thousands of people telling me I'm the worst. That takes a toll.
Right.
And I think it's so easy nowadays with social media to be like, there's the screen and there's a barrier between that to make it inhuman. Go, I can just say whatever I want. But in reality, there's a human on the other side of that getting affected. And I think, it's the same thing that happened with Rose too. Like, people just thought, we can just hate on Rose because we didn't like the character a little bit.
Yeah.
Just hate on her.
Or they assume that she's not going to see it or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're just kind of like,
just dishes it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But talking about the intense effects of what words have on actors, and especially Star Wars actors as well. Jake Lloyd. Jake Lloyd is sweet little Annie in Phantom Menace.
I love him.
Little Annie. Oh, you an
Period.
angel?
That's all I have to say.
You're an angel, Annie. Oh,
Yeah.
I know, right? And I wasn't opposed to his character in Phantom Menace, and I don't think many people were. I mean, I think it was a bit of a shock to see, oh, this is going to be Darth Vader. How does that work? But he is what I see the product of intense responsibility and intense fame at a young age. He's and it's really saddening to hear, but he's an example of what happens when it becomes this insane pressure cooker of responsibility for him.
Right.
So how old was he when he did Phantom Menace? Was he 10?
I think it was 9, 10.
Yeah. And I don't know what you were doing at 9. I was like running around with my lightsabers and I don't know, like I know. But to think he was,
I was wanting to be in his shoes at 10.
Yeah,
It's what I was doing at 10.
Yeah, absolutely. And to think that he had, Darth Vader, one of the most iconic fictional characters, for years. And then he had this role of to portray that and to continue that legacy. And I'm not sure if that was comprehended at his age, but since then, understanding the impact that he had in the Star Wars world, that's a major issue. Like, imagine carrying that weight on your shoulders.
Yeah.
And since then, it's been in the past couple of years that help me with what year this was released, but his mother came out. I believe 99. It was his 99. Well, yeah, it was released in 99. But
are you talking about the Phantom Menace?
Yeah. But like, because his mum came out explaining that he has been diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. Mm-hmm. What year was that announced? I want to say it was.
I'm not sure.
Nick, do you know this one? Do you know when this was announced?
Not the top of my head, but it was probably around like 2012-ish. I remember it was early on during like the hype of the prequels, but it was right after a bunch of incidents that happened. Yeah, and well, Nick, I want to ask your opinion on this topic as well. So, Jake Lloyd, fantastic actor. He was only in Phantom, but he had this, like what we were just saying, an incredibly harsh experience of being in Star Wars and the biggest franchise so young, and the effects that had on him, and then he became this paranoid person, and to be diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. That's a real consequence of what has happened in his life. It sucks because this is the problem in a big communication, especially with mental health, is that we as fans get too bent and fixated on these actors' personal lives, or some of us that's probably watching this, or maybe we're really young when this all started, and when the prequels came out too. But it's kind of the same idea of what's going on with the sequel trilogy. Well, not so much in a race standpoint, but the bullying. It's been a problem forever, and the issue with it is that since he was a kid, for Ahmed Best and him, it's been hate and a lot of negativity. And especially the fact that you got to think, a lot of being a child star, especially in the early 90s, where it was rough, and there's a lot of things that are crazy with that, and you got to think of the effects that would do to someone, especially being that young. And I remember seeing interviews with him when it's pretty much the making of the Phantom Menace, and he got all these toys from the movies and stuff like that. He was really excited. Yeah. He had all of these Star Wars toys. And can you imagine just being a kid, anyone's dream here, especially as a kid, being able to get in Star Wars, and they gave you a good role like that, and you get to live your dream, and then all these adults are just hating on a child like, oh, the acting was stale, or like, this and that, causing like, especially when they're growing up, going through life or moving on, and like, I mean, he couldn't even go to school. I mean, like, think about that. Like, we are impacting everyone's lives just by the words we say, the way we act, and how we handle that. I mean, like, I don't know how plain we can make that, but it's just like we can do better, because this
for sure
been a problem for a while, and this stems from every
definitely
we do for Star Wars, and it's like this isn't something to be proud about.
Absolutely not. Yeah, you're correct. You are.
Yeah.
Nick never misses the way he never misses. Like,
look, just trying to be real.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's entitled to opinion. Everyone's entitled to not like the prequels, the sequels, the original trilogies, solo movies, cartoons, whatever. That's your opinion. You're entitled to have whatever you deem in your head is canon from Star Wars. If you pick books that you may fit in, or however you want to, that's fine. That's the point of Star Wars. It's the imagination. That's the child in you, But to sit here and for anyone to really, I'm going to use the word gatekeep. It's like there's no need for that, because it's like, hey, we didn't build Star Wars. It's like going and saying like all the I was going to say something, but religions like that too. People take and choose what they want. It's the same thing, And yes, Star Wars has a lot of things that can be like, it's mythological, So it's just, all I can say is it's original trilogy, prequel trilogy, sequel, all the generations hug and hone into their babies, and something changes that they don't like from what they remember when it was a kid. You gotta remember that kids now that are watching this 10 years down the road are gonna be where we're at now, most of us, and probably gonna be doing the same thing. And if not, I hope they're better and we can find a harmony and making this work. Because I mean, we have a lot of Star Wars coming, and there's gonna be something for
everyone. Buckle up. And I think you had a great point there of the kids now growing up with the sequel trilogy is gonna grow up and in 10 years go, I remember when it came out, when episode 7 came out, and went to the movies and have this experience, just like how we can talk about when the prequels came out, and then the way people talk about when the original trilogy came out. It's the same process of, it's this journey, and it is something positive about Star Wars, is that because it's so everlasting, it's gone for so long, and it's just gonna keep continuing, apparently, in a good way. We get to do life with it and grow with it, and keep getting these amazing stories, whether we like characters or not. There is so much to be amazed at, and I think Mandalorian is a real testament to showing that we don't have to hate everything. And even if you disagree with your favorite episode or whatever of Mandalorian, everyone can. I'm finding Mandalorian is one of the most liked Star Wars content I've ever seen, and you can argue that with the original trilogy, but I think Mandalorian. Would you agree Mandalorian is one of the most liked pieces of Star Wars content?
Right now, I would say yes. Just mainly because I feel like it's one of the most recent. We'll see once everything else starts rolling out.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
I agree. Now, call-in segment. If you are in our YouTube or our Facebook, either ones, you will see, I think Nick will pop up on the screen for you, the Zoom link, and you can jump on that link, and we'll file you in if you have any questions about actors' experiences or something to add or something to ask us. So that should be on the screen for you, or in the chat box as well, if you want to look there. On the screen. So while we wait for that for anyone to file in, if they feel like, I just want to mention another wholesome. It wasn't a wholesome moment, but I just want to mention it. This full circle moment of Bo-Katan.
My queen.
Oh man, I was about to say I can't wait for your reaction. Because we're both, Clone Wars fans.
Yes.
Bo-Katan was just, so badass in the season 7. And he actually even all the parts she was in Clone
Oh
Wars, she
yeah.
was so
Most.
freaking cool.
Yeah.
Such an amazing contrast to Satine. They both had, these sisters, had these fantastic juxtaposing personalities and characters. And Katie Sackhoff, the actor who voiced Bo-Katan in the Clone Wars in the animated series and in Rebels, actually. Spoiler alert. Oh, well.
Yes.
I don't know do I have to still spoiler alert Rebels? Because
Now, if you haven't seen Rebels by now, stop it.
just stop. Just not
stop.
at all.
But yeah, she was in Clone Wars, she was in Rebels, and she's now in The Mandalorian. Played by the same person, like as you said. And I was skeptical at first because I didn't know who she was. I didn't realize she was in another sci-fi franchise, and I completely forgot what it was.
Battle.
Might be Battlestar Galactica.
I want to say that. I'm gonna Google that.
Yeah,
I believe it is. Yeah, but to see
amazing.
her, and it's happened a lot where well, actually not. I say a lot. Who else has come from Clone War or animation to live action? Well, and then we get the Ahsoka, but that was by a different actor. So this is
I know
Bo-Katan.
I know actors who've done the reverse. I think Bo-Katan was like the first to like
reverse one from animation to
So Liam Neeson voiced Qui-Gon in the Mortis arc in the Clone Wars.
And
Ahmed
that's
Best
a good example.
was in the Clone Wars.
Yes.
Who else?
Bail Organa, was that I want to say that might be the same actor.
I don't think so. But also Samuel L. Jackson came back for the Clone Wars movie. He was not in the show.
Yeah, he was in the movie.
Booked and busy, I guess. Whatever.
He's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
But
I'm surprised he found time to do the Clone Wars movie.
DJ, awesome. So we have a caller with us. DJ was the nickname. Okay, wonderful. Let's come on in. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how you going? Wait, can you hear us? Hello.
Hi. There I go.
Hey.
So thank you so much for joining us and calling in. How are you doing today?
Good. I am good. It's been a nice day.
Yeah, awesome.
Something you guys mentioned earlier about like the generational divide, and like I can tie it in with the acting. It's so weird. When I was a kid, people talk about, the prequel acting is bland and stuff like that, and yada yada yada. As a kid, I'm like, I thought this is just how people talk in Star Wars. What are you people complaining about?
That's a good point. You just thought, oh, this is how it is. Like, this is Star Wars. It had that essence of it. That's a good point. Yeah.
And it's sort of like, you're used kind of like to the cheesiness and the acting and stuff like that. So it's sort of like, or even like just the camera work or just the way the film was made. Like I remember when Force Awakens came out, and it's sort of like the camera work came out like, oh, whoa, this isn't how I remember the cameras are supposed to move in Star Wars. What's going on? And it's like, oh, it's a different style of directing. Because you're young and you don't understand what directing is until a certain time. But it's sort of like, what are you people complaining about? The acting's fine. This is how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to say it's sand, it's coarse, it's everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you think it adds to it? Do you think it adds to the story of Star Wars to have these little slight differences of directing and acting, but having that same Star Wars essence? Is that a good thing?
Oh, I think it is. I mean, I like it. I think that's what I like about the original trilogy too. I mean, I think since to me, I got the concept like Star Wars is so much more than even George Lucas. I think at this point that having like every movie or every story have a different flair to it. Like like you can tell like this is an Abrams film, this is a Ryan film, this is a Taika movie. But still, Star Wars at the same time, I think it makes it very interesting. And, maybe you'll like some, maybe you don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, like, I still think having those little flares and acting. Like, I will say, I have the controversial opinion that might not be controversial. That I think the sequels are the best acted films. At least
Oh, yeah.
I like Daisy Ridley's performance even more than both Mark Hamill or Hayden Christensen. I love them both. Don't get me wrong, but like even when it's not well written or well written, depending on how you feel, I still think it's like the best moment. Like I always think of Rise of Skywalker when Rey is confronting Palpatine and Daisy's just giving it her all. Like she's got the terror in her eye that she's facing down her evil incarnate grandpa who is the devil. And
incarnate grandpa. I love that.
And of course, Ian McDermott, of course, he's always great. Doesn't matter.
Yes. Yeah.
He's
Can't
amazing.
go past him. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that's a really interesting point of the acting in the sequel movies is a lot. There's a lot of emotion in it. Not that there isn't emotion in the other movies, but I totally agree with you. There's a lot of feeling, and especially with Daisy's portrayal of Rey, I totally agree with you there. It's very emotional, and that end scene, and when she's hearing all the Jedi voices, I love that scene so much. Just like what you were saying, like there's just so much passion in it, and you can feel Daisy really it's 100%. She's 100% there and in it and giving her everything.
Yeah.
I love that.
I would even argue that the original trilogy characters are probably their best acted in the sequels as well. I think Mark is probably my favorite in Last Jedi, Han and Han in Force Awakens, and Leia in Last Jedi 2.
Yeah, I love that so much. And what I love is that you're still loving all the parts of Star Wars. Yeah, it's not about having to, put down any other parts. It's saying, I just like this part. And so that's fantastic. I love that so much. That's amazing. Any final comments or thoughts for us, Joel?
No, but I'm just like excited to see more actors come in, like big names, small names. It's kind of cool. We're kind of entering this world now where bigger names are coming to Star Wars.
Yeah.
Well,
it's an exciting time.
Yes. To your point about just real quick to your point about big names, I need Solo 2 to happen so I can have Emilia Clarke, Daenerys Targaryen back in Star Wars.
Oh, you know what Game of Thrones actor I want to see in Star Wars so bad? Charles Dance.
Yes.
I want Tywin Lannister, and I want him like in the Old Republic era. Tywin Lannister. I want the Tywin Lannister of Star Wars somewhere.
Yes.
That's incredible.
With all of that being said, Joel, thank you so much. We do have another caller.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
All right.
Thank you for your thoughts. Love it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was a really good point. I love that. The acting.
Yes.
The acting of the sequels. Okay, we have another caller. Chad, I believe. We'll wait for him to come in. But yeah, the acting of the sequels. Oof. Hello, Chad, are you there?
Can you hear us?
Audio connecting.
Oh, there we go.
I'm ready for this. Was that the connecting sound, Nick? Is that your best R2D2 impression?
Yeah, that was squeal.
Chad, are you there? Hello.
Oh, 1 second. Gotta start the video. There we go. I figured it out.
There we go. Hello. There you are. How you doing
How's
on
it
this
going?
fine day?
I'm doing well.
I think is it nighttime where you are? I'm in Australia, so it's morning.
No,
for me.
it's daytime. I just have the blinds closed.
Oh, okay. Amazing.
love
Amazing.
Yeah.
So good. So tell us your thoughts, questions. What have you got to say about this topic?
I mean, I just want to see Solo too, mostly. Just more Solo.
Yeah.
Such a great movie.
Yes, absolutely.
Where do you think the
now.
story what do you think the story would be, and where would it go if we had a Solo 2?
I want to see like what Solo was doing like before like Jabba the Hutt like chased him down. I want to know why like he's got this massive bounty in his head.
Yeah.
Like we need to know. Like maybe they explained it like one time in the comics or like in a book that I didn't read, but I want to know like, hey, like why does Jabba want this guy so bad?
Yeah. And that's a good point, because we start off in New Hope, and that's a really big theme that it just that Han is just out. He's about to die. Like everyone's trying to find him. Like what could have possibly have done that made that situation happen? That's a really good point. I like that thought. What do you think he could have, like, what would have been? Did he like kill
I don't know.
someone? Did
That's
he
why I want a
steal
movie of it.
something? Yeah. That's so good. Yeah. Solo 2. What other actors or who do you want to see come back in Solo 2? Or characters you want to see in Solo 2?
More characters I want to see though is right, but
That was
in Solo 2, I mean, obviously Lando. Give me more Donald Glover as Lando. So
yeah, I loved his Lando. I think his portrayal of Lando was really good, very crisp. Any excuse for that would be amazing.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jordan? What do you think Solo 2 could be about?
It should be Kira centered, so I can see Emilia Clarke on the screen.
Yes.
I feel like that's a mood of a lot of people.
Like, you know,
That's so good.
so she can become Space Daenerys.
Space. That's so good. And well, would we want to see a bit of Maul in Solo 2? Because we got
obviously. You gotta have more
that
Maul.
random teaser at the end.
Absolutely.
You just like give us like Maul igniting his lightsabers, and then you like end it, and we're like, okay, where's more Maul? Where's our Maul? Where's our Maul only movie?
Yeah, exactly. Right? Oh, that's.
And then he's just on this random planet for Ezra to find, like just show up.
Yeah.
Like
it's
what
just like
happened?
What? Yeah.
He was at the end of Solo, being a crime lord, and now he's like this old guy.
Yeah.
Where's the in between?
What happened? What happened there?
I need to know.
Yeah.
And I just love it so much that he's just sitting there. It's like, how long was he just sitting on that rock?
He's just chilling.
Yeah,
Doing his thing.
just sitting. Like, no wonder he's insane.
And he was on Dathomir too. So it was like, you're just sitting on a planet with a bunch of your dead siblings and mother. Like, are you gonna be okay?
Yeah, like again, someone give that guy a hug. He just needs a hug or something. Yeah, Kira needs to give him. Oh my gosh, the Solo 2. That's the storyline.
And then that's how Kira dies. Sad.
That would be amazing.
Sorry, Jordan.
Oh, that's incredible. And what do you think, Chad, about what we were saying about the turnaround of Ahmed Best specifically? Do you think
he
got
did
a good
not
180?
deserve that? Yeah, he did a good 180. He did not deserve that. And I hope the same thing happens to like some of the sequel characters. I think just mostly like people grew up, like the younger kids that loved him loved Jar Jar, like grew up, and now we were like, oh, because we weren't the ones on the internet like hate mailing him.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some of those people are the ones hate mailing Kelly.
Yeah.
Terrible. But like we weren't the ones doing that, so we loved his character. Like I loved Jar Jar. Like he was just I was like 4 when I watched episode 4 when it came out, or episode 1 when it came out, and I was like, this guy is the best person in the world. I love him.
Right? And that's what I'm saying. It's like it's that appeal for kids in that age group is that oh my, this is a hilarious alien, like fantastical creature. Like this is amazing. And then like what you're saying, that this generation has grown up now and has a bit more sense of, oh, why did like all these adults hate him and all this kind of stuff. But I think also, trying to detach that from the character.
The Clone Wars helped too. Like the Clone helped redeem him. So like I think maybe if we need like more post sequel stuff, so like a sequels
or
animated
even in between,
series.
because there's 20 years of crap that we have to get through.
That's so true. There's a lot there.
Wasn't there? Well, I don't know what's going on with my camera right now. Wasn't there a time jump between?
There was so Return of the Jedi, 20 years later, Force Awakens. Literally the day after was The Last Jedi. And then I think between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker was like a year.
Yeah, I don't think that was long. Yeah, like a year. How old did Gungans get? That's what does Wikipedia
I have no idea.
say about that? Yeah, like is Jar Jar around? What if we can get some?
There we go.
Hello, you're back.
Sorry, technical difficulties. Had to plug in the.
There's your
camera.
beautiful face.
Amazing.
The last trace of
Gungans.
Jar Jar I think we had was like in the Aftermath books where they kind of show him as a clown. He's pretty much
I
a clown.
remember reading that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty depressing.
Yeah.
It's a pretty depressing little.
Is it? Oh, is it?
yeah,
No.
it's
Yeah,
sad to
like,
see.
A turn.
It's like everybody blames him for the Empire because I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
sort of is his fault.
He did
Sort of.
give emergency
Sort of.
powers. He did do the emergency powers.
Didn't
speak.
know what he was doing. He thought he was doing the
Poor
right thing.
guy. Yeah.
Poor little dude.
Oh, right.
It's a bad
Oh
rap,
yeah,
but I love
I'm
him.
down for some. I'm down for some Jar Jar like clown content. That'd
Yeah,
be
but
hilarious.
it's also like the Clone Wars definitely helped because like he was just like, I mean, some of the things he does is just like, okay, we don't need
Yeah,
all the Jar Jar
yeah.
stuff, but like most of the stuff, like it helped like expand his character a little bit more.
Yeah, for
And like
sure.
that's what we need with like the sequel characters to like instead of like 3 movies and then like, oh, we're done with these guys, we're not going to talk
Yeah.
about them anymore.
Yeah, we need those stories to fill that out a bit more. And because I think that's what happens with a lot of characters in Star Wars is everyone's very skeptical when we first see them. We go, do we like this person? And then we get all these context and backstory and adventures and experiences, and then everyone goes, oh, you get really connected and invested to the character.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got a good point there. I think we just need more of that.
I mean, it's just time as well as like people like younger kids that are watching the sequel trilogies as their first Star Wars, growing up and like loving Rose and loving Rey and loving Ben and Finn and Poe, like loving the characters. Like as they grow up and get older, then they're gonna move it on to like their kids and like stuff like that. So, I mean, it's a matter of time until like hopefully people stop bullying them.
I agree, but I'm ready now. Like,
Yeah, me too.
yeah, over it now. Yeah.
I want a very like Clone Wars-esque animated, but voiced by the Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, and KMT.
Show?
Clone
You wanna do
Wars
like a
show,
Clone
yeah.
Wars show? There we go.
That's what I want today. right
Yeah.
now.
When do you think it would be set?
It could be, they could do after Palpatine's fall, the 5th fall. And they could just be rebuilding the Republic in the new order. Finn and Rey can be Knights of the New Jedi Order.
I'm down for that. Is it do we know what it is called after Rise of Skywalker? Is it because it's not the New Republic, because we had that and that didn't work, or did that just continue? Do we know that answer?
What was
think so.
what was the question?
So did they make another Republic? Is it just the new Republic?
I mean, it just ended, so like they don't really
Yeah.
tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's
I don't
any.
think it's-
Yeah, either they left it open ending. I don't know if everyone would be wiped from there, and I think that if there is, it's still early. I mean, the New Republic is still too fresh.
Yeah.
I feel like to really wipe. But then again, I guess the Galactic Empire. But again, no,
Yeah.
I think there's still going to be the New Republic. Again,
Yeah.
there's
Republic.
the movie coming out, the X-Men movie.
Rogue Squadron.
Rogue Squadron.
See, that's an interesting one because from what it seems, it might be set in the sequel trilogy. So I don't know if it's something after. We're gonna see after the events
That's
of the
true.
movie, and see like a Rogue Squadron type of movie, but based on like the New Republic that way forming and actually banding together and cleaning.
Yeah.
house.
Yeah, I'm excited for that movie. I'm very
More X-wings.
intrigued.
Give me more
Yes. Oh,
X-Wings.
yes.
Yes.
A decent collection. Wow.
Yeah, I have a lot of Legos. Like this whole shelf right here is like full of Star Wars Legos. I would move the camera, but the
first
camera would
sign.
probably shut off.
Okay.
We'll try it.
We take your word. Oh, that is so satisfying. Stop it.
Yes.
That's incredible.
I
Do
need
you have a
it.
favorite one?
Ship
Favorite one.
it to
Favorite one?
me now.
Favorite one.
Yeah.
This one.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Look at that bad
E19.
boy. Yep.
Yeah, my grandpa gave this to me for Christmas like one year, and
Wow, he
Yep.
knows you. That's amazing.
yeah, my
That's
grandpa
so
loves
good.
Legos, so
Oh,
It runs in the
so
family.
good. I see. This is again one of the most wholesome things about the Star Wars fandom. These like beautiful connecting moments, and so many people can like connect over it. And Lego, come on, that's like the most satisfying, most therapeutic thing to do ever. Like
Yeah.
it's, I think the market for Star Wars Lego is so for adults and not for kids anymore.
It is crazy. Like
Yeah.
I want to get
Yeah.
like I keep seeing like Star Destroyer. I want to start Star Destroyer because I love Star Destroyers and
Right.
like
Yeah,
they're so
it's-
expensive. I was like,
I
I want
I
this
know.
for $700.
Yeah,
I don't want it that bad.
like that Moss Eisley one that just came out a couple months ago, and that was like, what was that like? I don't even know how much that was, but it was just a
That was like
ridiculous amount.
340. I want to say 350. I saw that one. It's got
that's-
like the most like Star Wars Lego characters in it, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
I need
what-
that.
Yeah,
I
that
need
looks
that, but
so
I don't
good,
have
and
that.
you got the.
I want it.
I feel like that's the constant struggle of Star Wars fans. It's like,
It is.
oh my
It is.
gosh, I want that. I can't have that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just like when they like dumped all the like the Star Wars like new Star Wars toys, and I saw the wedge helmet, and I'm like, I want a wedge helmet.
Oh,
I was like,
right.
yes.
Oh,
I still want it,
Totally.
but I shouldn't get it. I shouldn't spoil myself and buy a wedge helmet that I would wear every once in a while.
but you should. But you
I should, and
This-
I'll
I
just
This
was
wear
is
it
your
while I play
size.
conference.
hello.
So good. Well, thank you so much, Chad, for joining us for this
No
chat
problem.
and this little Star Wars
Thank you for
debrief.
Thanks,
Love your
Chad.
opinions. Really appreciate it. Have
Thank
a
you.
good day.
You too.
And may the force be with you. I just had to throw that in.
Love
there.
that. That was a good accent. I like that.
I know.
Well, Jordan, I think that ends our show for today.
Yes.
Thank you again for joining us for this interesting discussion about actors in the Star Wars world and galaxy and universe and their experiences. There's been a lots of ups and downs, but there's also been those heartwarming moments at, again, Celebration. We're going there. Manifest it now. I'm
Yeah.
going to have a chat to Force Ghost Qui-Gon after this. We're going.
Yes.
We're going to those celebrations because there's always those heartwarming moments. So thank you so much for joining in and watching our discussion about that. Be sure to check out Culture Slate at all your favorite social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the 4 major big brands of social media. We will be there all at Culture Slate, and we will be back next week, same time, exact same time. That's 9 a.m. on a Thursday for Australians.
Yes.
And what time is it for Americans?
It is 4 p.m. PST and 7 p.m. EST for us Americans. And I just want to remind everybody to check out our Patreon for all the great exclusive content.
yeah.
You can see behind the scenes photos of us working on the show, a full look at the pilot episode. That was a time and a half.
Yeah.
Like
Think about that was like 12 weeks ago. Oh no.
I know.
Yeah. How long ago? 10 weeks ago. That was
it was a long time ago in a galaxy far,
so
far
much
away.
happened. So much happened to that pilot
Yes.
episode. So if you want to
Um,
catch that.
Yes, but you can see all that and some bloopers. Got a lot of those too, but you can only see them on the Patreon. So make sure you go check it out. It's patreon.com/cultureslate. That is all for this week. We will see you soon, and may the force be with you
Always.
always.
Mm-hmm.